part of the detail panel is the noise reduction section. So we'll look at that one next. Just like sharpening helps to be zoomed into 100%. So let's go zoom into 100%. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. We got a couple of problems. We got color noise and luminance noise. Color noise inside of Camera Raw has actually always been really good. And you can increase it here. You can see by the time I hit, 15 or so, it's gone, okay? By the way, once you get up to where you don't see that color noise anymore, going any higher, it doesn't get more gone when I go to 100, so don't feel like you have to crank that slider up. You're just going to desaturate your photo if you go any further. So once it's gone, it's gone. Now, luminance noise reduction, it has been good in Camera Raw for a couple of versions now. Now, if you're kind of just coming into this, you may have heard someone say you need a plugin, you need a third-party plugin for noise reduction. Not anymore. Okay, ever since a couple of versions ago of Camera Raw, we don't need a third-party plugin. It's been really good, really solid noise reduction inside of Camera Raw. So we're just fine when it comes to doing that here. In fact, I'd say it's even better than most plugins that are out there because it's working right on the raw photo. So we'll come over here. We got a luminance noise problem. It's that graininess that we have back here. So we'll start to increase our luminance noise reduction slider. It takes care of the graininess. The problem that we have is that in doing so, it also makes the photo blurry. So it's this kind of give and take, right? You can get rid of the noise, but it's got to blur the photo a little bit. To do that, now you could always come down here to the luminance detail slider, and you could start to crank that up because that brings back some of that detail. Look at the trees. I'm kind of gonna bounce it back and forth here. Before, after. Before, after. So you can see the difference there. I'll even pull back a little bit on the luminance noise and do it one more time. That's before and that's after. So what it's doing is it's bringing back some detailed edges. It also brings back a couple of little artifacts here. You'll start to see some little grainy. It's almost bringing back some noise. It looks a little bit grainy. Not quite the noise that we had before, okay, but it does bring back a little bit of that graininess, a little bit of artifacts inside of there. So it is a give and take. You got to be careful. As you increase luminance noise, you're kind of blurring the photo a little bit to get rid of that noise. You can bring some of it back here with that luminance detail slider. And the luminance contrast is pretty much, it's not even hooked up. So just don't even try moving it because it doesn't really do anything to your photos. But you can get everything that we need to done with luminance and luminance detail, okay? Now, while we're at it here, let's go ahead to our preview. Because remember, the little preview checkbox is just going to give us a before and after of just this panel. So we can see that's our before and that's our after. Okay? Big difference, right? Before, after, and it was all done on the raw photo. So we're really getting the best noise reduction possible. One last thing to consider about all this too is that this is all really just for print. Okay, if you're going to put this on the web, you don't have to worry about any of this noise reduction stuff because you're not going to see it. I'd take all these down to 0, all right? And let's back this out and get it down to a size where you might put onto the web. You're not going to see the noise inside of there. And the web-sized images, you don't really have to worry about it. So think about your final destination too. Most of your noise reduction, most of the problems that we're ever really going to have with it are really meant for images that are destined for print. So if you're not printing it, then don't go crazy over noise reduction because you're just, like we saw, you're kind of blurring your photo a little bit. You got to play that balancing act. So if it's not meant for print, you don't even need to bother with it.